Hi Aries, welcome to your October 2021 Astro Update. It's Raina here. We begin the month with a Mercury retrograde in Libra that has been continuing from late September and will be continuing for about 2.5 more weeks into October. And this is in your seventh house of committed partnership, but it's also the area of legal affairs. So any kind of legal matter may see some sort of delay because Mercury might be some contract that you're trying to sign. Maybe it's a legal agreement. Or, speaking of it being the house of marriage, maybe it's the marriage certificate getting lost in the mail. I know that might not be something that happens, but some snafu that has to do with paperwork or misunderstandings. You're trying to book some kind of reception center and the dates get mixed up, stuff like that. But luckily, Mercury is a very fast-moving planet, so whatever does happen, it will be resolved in several weeks. Now, the Sun is also in Libra at this time, so there is this emphasis on your committed partnerships for one reason or the other. And, this might even be going into business with someone. And, how do you do that? Because Aries is a very independent, and we could even say sometimes, I was going to say, how can I be diplomatic? But does Aries really care if I'm diplomatic? I'm going to say like pushy and, wanting to run the show. Okay. Now that is more of an imbalanced Aries. Not all Aries people are going to be so stereotypically like that. But I think it's fair to say that all fire signs, I'm a Sag, and all fire signs like to be self-directed. So it is hard to compromise sometimes. It is hard to be a team player when you really want to express yourself in your own way. So this is going to come up for you in October where it's like, okay, are you going to have to cooperate with someone? Doesn't have to be like a romantic partner, but in some area of life. And on the 6th of October, we have a new moon at 13 degrees of Libra. So new developments in this area of partnership for you. And this is amid that Mercury retrograde. So there still may be things to be sorted out since this is going to be in the same sign, the same house, but maybe it's turning a corner with something that involves, negotiations and things like that. And, coming to a consensus or coming to an agreement with someone. On the 7th, Venus goes into Sagittarius, and that's a friendly angle to you because Sag and Aries are both fire signs. And this is the 9th house. And this could be for single Aries love with someone who is from another country, another nationality, another race, just kind of broadening your romantic attractions. For people who have been trying to get money to go to university, this might be some kind of financial aid coming through. Venus can be connected to money, and so you may find that some money that you've been looking for is here for you to use. Also, money coming from the academic world in other ways. If you are teaching at a college, maybe you get hired or you get a raise. You might have money or you're going to spend money to travel long distances. On the 10th, Saturn goes direct at 6 degrees of Aquarius. So we have this energy in your 11th house with Saturn and Jupiter and a recent couple of full moons here. So there have been some real hits to this area for Aries. How does this manifest? This is the house of gain. So this may be something that is connected to your long range goals, even your career. It's right next to the career sector. Going back to that Venus in the 9th house, if you are a writer, you published a book, maybe you're finally seeing the fruits of your labor coming up for you. So benefiting from your publication financially. This is also Saturn here. Now that it's direct, you have a better, I think, way to proceed with something that you're trying to accomplish, but it's coming from like wanting to create a foundation. The 11th house is kind of a weird house to talk about these things. If it was in the career sector, it would make perfect sense because Saturn rules that area. Actually, I think Saturn, you could say it rules the 11th house too, because it's Aquarius is co-ruled by Saturn. It's interesting. One of the buzz phrases of the 11th house is hopes and wishes. And so it's like kind of like your long range goals, what you really want. And Saturn is father time. And so Saturn in the 11th house can be that all good things comes to those who wait, but also I would say those who work for them, those who actually try to make it happen, not just wait around for it. And so if you have been working on some kind of a project, just know that you have the chance to make it manifest into physical reality. That's what Saturn is good at. And now that Saturn is direct, you have like a straightforward ability to do this. Jupiter goes direct on the 18th, and likewise, that can be very good for things connected to your social life. I would say that these two planets working in tandem, Jupiter and Saturn, can be about expanding your network. But you're doing so not for frivolous reasons. You're doing so for very serious reasons, hence Saturn being there. But Jupiter is about expansion. So it's like Aries people are, in general, very extroverted people as it is. But you may just like to socialize for the sake of socializing. And now there might be a reason that is connected to a long-range goal why you want to broaden your alliances or acquaintances. And for instance, if you have a small business, if you have your own business, or you're thinking about having your own business, you want to know that there are people who are going to be regular customers of yours. And there, depending on what it is, there might be this continuous supply of customers because you have kind of paved the way. Jupiter has been, when it's been retrograding, has made you think philosophically about this issue because sometimes people will use other people to get ahead, or they can schmooze. Oh, and this is a mentality that comes from this kind of a dog-eat-dog attitude about life where you have to do whatever it takes to get ahead. And if that means that you have to, be fake with people. So the belief in scarcity, the belief that you can't just be be authentic, and still, if you believe in what you're selling, it's not, you're not trying to deceive anyone. You just want to get the word out. So there's a distinction there. And some people, they cross that line. So you may really be thinking about, why am I doing this? Why am I cultivating these people? And you realize that you have something great to offer, and you want to help others. And it's funny because when I started to do what I'm doing now, I had the same kind of like Jupiter in retrograde idea. I don't know where my Jupiter was back then, but I'm just saying that same kind of like a review, like, is this really in alignment with my values? Because you can agonize over these things. And I think that if you do agonize over them, that means that you have a moral compass. It means that you're not just looking to make a buck. You really do have a sincere desire to help others. So you have been going through this for some reason. Now, this can also relate to just your social life in general. Aries people may have been finding that the people that they hang around are not optimal or optimum for them. Optimum for them anymore. They don't serve their highest good anymore. And that makes you feel like you want to change course. And that might be the best thing for you, depending on other factors. Saturn definitely is very discriminating, wanting to make sure that the people that you're surrounded with are contributing to your life in a positive way, in a productive way, maybe more is what it would represent. Mercury goes direct on the 18th. That's on the same day that Jupiter goes direct. So that's very interesting. And that's in your 7th house. So both of these houses are air houses, and they're both social areas. And so that may be connected in some way. But that gives you the opportunity to correct anything that has been, gone awry as it relates to contracts or legal affairs or relationship issues, marriage planning. On the 20th, you have a full moon Aries, 27 degrees of Aries. Wow. And that falls in the 1st house. And, if you're born like 28 or 29 degrees of Aries and your Aries rising, this will actually be in your 12th house. But that, to me, can be quite similar to what I'm going to talk about in the 1st house, but it will be less conscious and be more of something that feels like it's coming up for you either in the dream state or like as some kind of like aha moment, but not necessarily something that you're consciously dealing with, that you're taking that initiative, because the 1st house is the house of the self. The 12th house is the house of your karmic past. And so it's almost like more like God is, coming in and helping you. But you can, if you have awareness in general about your life, where you're very conscious about what you do, then even the 12th house activity, you might be well aware of what it represents. And if this is just for the vast minority of you, if you're born 28 or 29 Aries rising and this is in your 12th house, this is about letting go of bad habits, self-defeating patterns. For the vast majority of you, this is going to be in the first house, and this is going to be something ending in your life. We could say coming to culmination. So that might be something that you have had an active hand in bringing about. And the end result is change. It can be endings, but it can be shifting into something better. So, yeah, so that's that situation of the full moon in your house, bringing awareness to yourself and how you behave. And oh yeah, that's another thing too. When there's a full moon, it means the sun is opposing it from the 7th house. So another person's behavior or attitude towards you makes you aware of what your needs are, and that can, give you more information if you are trying to decide about a personal relationship and how to proceed. On the 23rd, the sun goes into Scorpio. This for you is the 8th house. It's very deep, mysterious, the house of the occult, the house of other people's money. And on the 30th, Mars goes there. So this could be, maybe this is connected to some kind of a legal matter that has recently become more understood. Maybe that Mercury retrograde in the 7th house was a will that was being contested. Like, this isn't the will that I saw. I saw a different will. So Mars goes into that 8th house, and it's like you're fighting over shared resources. I'm not saying for sure that that's going to happen, but it could. And it's also worth noting that a legal matter could be a divorce too. So that could be like fighting over these shared resources. Mars is your ruler, so you're down for any kind of conflict. You're not going to shy away from it. You have to decide, Aries, what is what you're willing to fight for, because you might just feel like you want to fight for the sake of fighting, but it might not be the right thing. It might be, but only you can decide whether this is worth fighting for. So in any case, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.